What's good, YouTube? It is your boy GCTV, back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing all the NFL games from, I believe we are on week 14. Yeah, that sounds about right. Week 14, it might be even week 15. Let me go check. We're on week 15. Okay, so yeah, the Monday night game hasn't happened at the time I'm recording this, but later tonight I will get that out for you guys. So let's get into the games. Starting with the Thursday night game, we had the Chargers and the Raiders, just a generational ass whooping. I mean, we already saw the Dolphins-Broncos game earlier on in the season. Now we have this. 4 days after losing by 3 points, the Raiders set a franchise scoring record. They beat the Chargers by 32 points. 4 days was all the Las Vegas Raiders had to recover from their worst performance of the season, and they did it very well, so shout out to the Raiders. Not a lot to talk about this game. I mean, obviously O'Connell went off 20 for 34, 248 yards, 4 touchdowns. Easton Stick actually didn't play that bad in the absence of Justin Herbert. He went for 23 for 32, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but, what more could he do? His team was losing by double digits, the entire game. White for the Raiders, I can't remember what his first name was. I think he had playing time last year, but he had a rush touchdown. Devontae Adams played pretty good for my fantasy. 8 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown, while Josh Palmer actually had a good game. 4 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty solid game offensively. It's just obviously the Raiders played far better than the Chargers did, so yeah. Next, we are going to talk about probably one of the better games of the week, one of the better storylines. We have the Vikings and the Bengals. Jake Browning shines again for the Bengals. They rally them to a 3-point overtime win over the Vikings. Trailing by 14 late in the third quarter behind an offense that had struggled to move the ball. The Bengals needed Jake Browning to be nearly perfect, and I mean, he was. He went off. They were able to close out the game. Really tough loss for the Vikings, but they're really not in that bad of a spot this season. Not as bad of a spot as my damn Packers. We'll get to them soon. Yeah, that huge catch by Tyler Boyd. They had the game-winning field goal in OT. Yeah. T. Higgins had some great catches. The tying touchdown where he reached the ball over. That was incredible. Nick Mullins had some nice throws. But there was also some pretty weird interceptions he's thrown too. Yeah, man. I mean, Nick Mullins isn't that bad of a player, to be honest. I mean, 26 for 33, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions, and I mean, he's going against frickin' prime Jake Browning. Really. I mean, the dude threw 29 for 42, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick of his own, but man, he was on one this game. He's like, oh, you want to cut me? You should have never cut me. It's like, relax, bro. You beat Nick Mullins. Can we chill out here? But, Ty Chandler for the Vikings had a great game, breakout game. 23 carries for 132 yards and a touchdown. Joe Mixon got in the end zone. You see Jordan Addison get 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great week in fantasy for him. Not for me, but for other people. Jamar Chase, 4 catches and 64 yards before unfortunately going out with an injury, which I thought was super impactful to the game. But they still won, so that's good. Up next, we have the Steelers and the Colts game. Got pretty ugly for the Steelers in this one, but I mean, Gardner Minshew and the Colts bolster their playoff chances. They beat a fading Steelers. They win by 17. Gardner Minshew got the most out of his depleted supporting cast. Really bad injury for Michael Pittman. I hope he's okay. He's been one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL. Yeah, man, good game for Gardner Minshew. That hit on Michael Pittman, I don't think it was that dirty of a hit, but it was still pretty brutal to watch. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Mo Alley Cox had a tutty. Yeah, Gardner Minshew just finding everyone. He took advantage of every possible thing he could in this game. Zach Moss had a tutty. Good game for Minshew, man. 18 for 28, 215 yards, 3 tutties. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, 16 for 23, 169 yards, threw a touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. Yeah, Trubisky's really not that one, is he? He's just not, plain simple. Trey Sermon actually had a good game. 17 carries, 88 yards. Michael Pittman, before getting injured, played great. 4 catches for 78. And unfortunately, I sat Deontay Johnson this week because he had 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. That would have been a lot better than whoever I had in. I mean, that doesn't really sound that impressive, but again, better than who I had in. Getting it to Broncos and Lions. Jared Goff throws 5 touchdown passes as the NFC North leading Lions bounce back and they beat the Broncos by 25 points. Really big game for the Detroit Lions here, really important. I don't think they've necessarily clinched the division yet, but they're very close to doing that. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions bounced back and took a step towards ending a 6-season playoff drought. They need to get in the damn playoffs. Hopefully, I'm sure they've probably clinched a spot by now, I would think. I would think so, but maybe not. But Sam Laporta, huge game on fantasy. Tutty after tutty. Jahmyr Gibbs had a couple touchdowns. Sean Payton was really mad at Russell Wilson. That was kind of fucking crazy. Lil Jordan Humphrey, that's an interesting name, but he had a crazy catch. I mean, Russ, there's not much to yell at him about. 18 for 32, 223 yards, and a touchdown. He played acceptable. Obviously, he's going against Jared Goff, and Jared Goff had an amazing game. 24 for 34, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jesus Christ, my fault. But, I don't know. Jahmyr Gibbs played great. 11 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown. He played fantastic. Jerry Jeudy had 3 catches for 74, while Amon-Ra St. Brown continuing a very impressive season. Another good season for him. 7 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown. And obviously, Laporta had 3 touchdowns, but yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown was setting him up for all of those. So, shout out to the Lions. They're looking great. Oh, man, I get tired of how bad our defense is. We're here to talk about the Buccaneers and Packers. Man, the Packers are just so bad right now. I don't understand. These are much-needed wins for us, especially after choking against the Giants. And we just can't do it because our defense just made Baker Mayfield look like Tom Brady in that Tampa Bay uniform. But yeah, Baker Mayfield throws for 381 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Bucs keep pace in the NFC South by beating the Packers by 14. Playing on a new team, eager to reach the postseason, Baker Mayfield reversed his December fortunes at Lambeau Field and was actually able to get a W. He played amazing. But again, our defense makes them look incredible because our defense sucks. Strip sack, obviously, against Jordan Love. Yeah. Wow, that early celebration by David Moore was interesting. God, dude. Jordan Love didn't play horrible, I will say. 29 for 39 and 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to say he played horrible, and I don't even think it was his fault, frankly. But I don't know. Baker, 22 for 28, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns. Probably one of the best games of his career, if I'm being honest. He played amazing. Shout out to Dontavian Wicks, man. 6 catches for 97 yards. That's a really quality football game. Then we're going against Chris Godwin, who made everyone his bitch, pretty much. 10 catches, 155 yards. He was incredible this game. So, I don't know. Joe Barry probably needs to be fired. He's a fucking cancer to our defense. It's really bad, man. Now we can talk about this pitiful Jets-Dolphins game. I don't even know what the point is. The Dolphins literally own that division. The Bills are definitely up there, and we'll talk about them here in a little bit because, they had a really impressive week. But, man, Dolphins are insane. Against the Patriots and the Jets, it's hard to beat them. It really is. But Raheem Mostert and Tua Tagovailoa lead the Dolphins to a 30-point victory over the Jets without Tyreek Hill. They don't need him to beat the Jets. Come on, man. Mike McDaniel was certain his team would avoid another week of disappointment after the Dolphins saw a 14-point fourth-quarter lead fizzle in less than 5 minutes in their last outing. That was a terrible game. They had to come out with revenge and get it going. Waddle had a huge touchdown. Yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers is not looking happy in New York. Damn, it's only been one season, but Zach Wilson, a lot of mishaps. Trevor Siemian, a lot of mishaps. Yeah, Raheem Mostert, I think he scored more touchdowns this season than any other season in his career combined, which is ridiculous. Should have played him in fantasy, but I figured Jaylen Warren was going to get a little more touches, and I figured that Austin Eckler, I kind of forgot to talk about that. I figured Austin Eckler wouldn't have the choke he had in that game. Trevor Siemian, 14 for 26, but he threw 2 fucking interceptions, played like shit. And Tua obviously played great, 21 for 24, 224 yards, and a touchdown. Breece Hall seemed to be a big letdown for fantasy owners. Raheem Mostert had 2 rush touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had 8 catches, 142 yards, and a touchdown. And all the Jets had was Xavier Gibson, literally their best receiver, getting 2 catches and 29 yards. That's bad, man. The Jets looked trash this game. Up next, we have the Titans game. Really good game here, and I'm actually super impressed that the Texans were able to come out with the victory. Texans win without C.J. Stroud. They beat the Titans by 3 on Fairbairn's 54-yard field goal. And OT, that was just big time, man. The Houston Texans gave themselves a confidence boost winning without injured quarterback C.J. Stroud and several other key players. As you know, Tank Dell is out for the season. That's a huge deal for them. And they just beat a team that just got done beating the Dolphins. So I think that's something they can be kind of proud of. Yeah, that huge kick for Fairbairn. Chris Moore had some crazy catches. Dalton Schultz had a good catch, and a lot of good setup plays. Steven Nelson and this Texans defense. This Texans defense is super underrated this year. They make so many big plays to win games. I don't know. Case Keenum, obviously, isn't the best option to have, but 23 for 36. He threw for a touchdown. He also had a pick, though. I don't know. Will Levis, 17 for 26, 199 yards. He threw a pick. It was a bit of a sloppy game here. Not like the most pretty win in the world. Solid game for Singletary. Noah Brown. They just have so many receivers. Like, when Tank Dell's out, you have Nico Collins. When Nico Collins probably isn't playing the best game in the world, you have Noah Brown. Like, come on, man. 8 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And obviously, when he's not doing anything, you also have Dalton Schultz out there. Treylon Burks had 3 catches for 62. Really disappointed to see that DeAndre Hopkins didn't do jack shit for me. It really sucks. I should have picked Deontay Johnson over him, but whatever, man. Well, seems that the Giants are right back to where they were, right back to where they left off. But Derek Carr throws 3 touchdown passes as the Saints beat the Giants by 18 to remain tied atop the NFC South. Derek Carr quieted the Boo Birds in the Superdome, and Saints defensive players were the ones making Italian-style hand gestures after a season-high 7 sacks. I love it. They make the play, and it's funny, man. That huge hit on Tommy DeVito was super unfortunate. That's something that we don't need in this game, of course. I love this, though. This is awesome. The nice punt, the good punt, man. They did it every time they made a play. Jimmy Graham had a touchdown. It's just crazy. Jimmy Graham's making some plays for this team recently. Derek Carr hit Juwan Johnson for some touchdowns. Yeah, Tommy DeVito, he didn't play terrible. 20 for 34 is really not bad. And he also had 4 carries for 36. So, he did everything he could. But Derek Carr played pretty good. 23 for 28 with 3 touchdowns. Who else? Darius Slayton played good for the Giants, 4 catches for 63 yards, but I don't know. There really wasn't much to watch in this game. It's just okay. It's a whatever. The Tommy DeVito, the Tommy Cutlets hype is probably going to die down soon anyway, so yeah. Well, this is probably the most ugly game of the week, and of course it's a division matchup. Of course it's the Panthers, Falcons. No matter where these teams are in the season when they play each other, it's always a close one. But Piñeiro's field goal gives the Panthers a 2-point win over the Falcons. They knock Atlanta out of first in the NFC South. This is their first game win, and I don't know how long. They're 2-12. The best record they could get right now is 5-12, which is terrible. But yeah, Panthers interim head coach Chris Tabor has spent 3 years coaching Eddie Piñeiro in Chicago and now Carolina, and his confidence level in the 28-year-old kicker is unwavering. They were able to go out, win the game. Great kick. Bijan Robinson fumbled. That was unfortunate. Desmond Ridder threw an interception. A lot of turnovers for the Falcons this game. Cordell Patterson had a nice touchdown, but this was a super-duper boring game. Desmond Ridder, 12 for 20, 152 yards and a touchdown, but he did throw an interception. Bryce Young threw 18 for 24. There's not much to talk about this game. It was a pretty lame game. Jonnu Smith had 2 catches for 61. Adam Thielen had 4 catches for 43. Man, I love those blackout uniforms for the Panthers. But this is an ugly game. I don't really care to talk about it anymore. Man, the Bears find new ways to lose football games every single week, and they're somehow still in the playoff race. Joe Flacco, though, passes for 374 yards. He rallies a banged-up Browns to a 3-point win over the Bears. You gotta give the Browns some credit. They have secured a winning season when no one thought they would, and they are dealing with injuries, and it's crazy. They are just squeezing out wins. But for Myles Garrett, there's no explanation for the Browns' strange season. This is a weird one, man. They're 9-5. This is probably one of the worst 9-5 teams we've seen. But that huge field goal for Dustin Hopkins. I can't believe that Hail Mary. That just left everyone in shock. Like, I don't know how you don't catch that. I don't know how the ball even ended up in his hands. It's super unfortunate, super unlucky. Amari Cooper had a nice touchdown. Joe, like I'm saying, this is an ugly game for Joe Flacco. I mean, 28 for 34 or 44, 374 yards. He throws two touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions, and they won the game. Obviously, Justin Fields didn't play good at all. I mean, he threw for a touchdown, but he threw 2 interceptions as well. Super inconsistent player. Roschon Johnson had 5 carries for 36. DJ Moore had 4 catches for 52, but they're going against Amari Cooper, and that man had 4 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Just one of the best deep threat receivers in the league, just continuing to prove it here. Yeah, tough loss for the Bears. That Hail Mary was unbelievable. I don't understand, man. Next up, we have the Chiefs and the Patriots, and honestly, at the start of the game, I thought the Chiefs might choke another game. But they won. Chiefs beat the Patriots by 10 to thrill Taylor Swift and the Swifties in the crowd. Wow, oh my God, yay. This was a surprise look even for the always unpredictable Patrick Mahomes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, nice touchdown. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes was super frustrated throughout the game. They won, but it was a super sloppy one. Apparently, Travis Kelce had a PI that people were complaining about, even though he wasn't touched and he flopped, so it's fine. Patrick Mahomes hit Jerick McKinnon for a tutty. Bailey Zappi, I mean, didn't play terrible, but definitely not great. I mean, 23 for 31. He threw for a touchdown. He did throw an interception, though. But, I mean, man, Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked great. I mean, 27 for 37, 305 yards. He throws 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks, it's obviously super frustrating. You definitely understand what he is frustrated about. Kevin Harris for the Patriots, I guess. I mean, 4 carries, 25 yards, and a touchdown, I guess. Okay. But, man, Patrick Mahomes definitely has every reason to be frustrated. Just going around here, Rashee Rice, one of the most underrated receivers, and he's a rookie. 9 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Nice little touchdown for Hunter Henry in this game. Yeah, there's really nothing to talk about with this game, though. Guys, Brock Purdy might actually win MVP this year. I'm not going to lie, because we're going to talk about the other stinker performance from the other MVP candidate. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey scores 3 touchdowns, and the 49ers clinch the NFC West with a 16-point victory of the Cardinals for their 6th straight win. They were 5-3, and now they're 11-3 out of nowhere. Deebo Samuel was stunned to be so wide open for San Francisco's first touchdown of the game. A few quarters later, Christian McCaffrey had enough time to just absolutely go off. Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey, the huge players in this game. Just dot after dot for Brock Purdy. It's super impressive. Amari DeMarcado had a touchdown for the Cardinals. Yeah, man, McCaffrey's just a machine. He's crazy. It's ridiculous. I mean, Brock Purdy, 16 for 25, 242 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kyler Murray, 26 for 39. He threw for a touchdown, but he threw 2 interceptions. It's too much, man. James Conner had a good game, though. I'll give it to him. 14 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 18 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Also leading the receiving. 5 catches for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. My God, I mean, we're talking about a guy that had almost 190 total scrimmage yards off of 23 touches and scored 3 touchdowns. It's ridiculous. I mean, Trey McBride, shout out to him for my fantasy team. 10 catches, 102 yards. He's an up-and-coming tight end. I think he has a really good future with this Cardinals team. So, yeah. Next, we have the Commanders and Rams. I feel like this is a game that doesn't really matter that much, but it kind of was a much needed win for the Rams because it's crazy. They're 7-7. They're in the playoff race when no one expected them to be. Matthew Stafford throws 2 touchdown passes. The Rams rise in the NFC playoff race with an 8-point win over the Commanders. So on the second play of the second half, Cooper Kupp found himself running completely alone down the Commanders' sideline behind their NFL worst pass defense. Yeah, wide open. I mean, their pass defense is terrible. Jacoby Brissett was out there trying his best. I don't know why he wasn't playing in the first place. Is he better? I guess Sam Howell's better. I don't know. Good game for Matthew Stafford and Demarcus Robinson. Terry McLaurin had some crazy catches. Yeah, Curtis Samuel played pretty good, man. But Brissett, I mean, 8 for 10, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, are you kidding me, man? Give this man more shots. He's a pretty quality quarterback, honestly, in the NFL. He's not bad. Matthew Stafford, 25 for 33, 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really good offensive game here. Freaking Kyren Williams, man. 27 carries, 152 yards and a touchdown. Incredible work. Scary Terry, 6 catches, 141 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 8 catches, 111 yards and a touchdown. Really good offensive game. Probably one of the better games offensively that we saw this week. A couple more games to talk about here before that Monday night game. We have the Cowboys and the Bills. James Cook destroyed me in fantasy this week. I'm pretty sure I lost my matchup because of it. He leads a dominant rushing attack as the Bills destroy the Cowboys by 21. The Bills' offense has found its legs in time to make a playoff push. I mean, they're 8-6. They've damn near clinched a winning season already, and they have 3 chances to do it. And yeah. Great running. Josh Allen got in the end zone. James Cook got in the end zone. Latavius Murray got in the end zone. Dak Prescott played like garbage. I don't know, man. I'm really disappointed in Dak. I mean, 21 for 34, but he threw a pick. He was just super lackluster this game. He was probably the reason I lost this week. I mean, Josh Allen, not really spectacular either. 94 yards and a touchdown, not great. James Cook, that's all they needed. 25 carries, 179 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, him and Kyren Williams were leading the charge for running backs this week. Stephon Diggs had 4 catches for 48 yards. I mean, that's really about it for this game. The pass game was just not there for either team. I mean, really. But one of them needed it, and one of them didn't need it. So there you have it. Final game before this Monday Night Football game, we have the Ravens and the Jaguars on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens beat a mistake-prone Jaguars by 16 for their 4th consecutive victory, and they clinch an AFC playoff spot. Lamar Jackson was sacked, or so it seemed. The man was insane. Gorgeous throws, just a super magical game for Lamar Jackson. He made it look so easy. I mean, Trevor Lawrence had a nice throw to Jamal Agnew. But yeah. Jags had a poor clock management. I mean, their coaching, it's just their mistakes. It's all that. Things are just getting into their heads. I mean, they're still a good NFL team, but yeah. Good stuff for Lamar this game. I mean, Isaiah Likely played good. Trevor Lawrence, huge fumble. It's not like Trevor Lawrence played that bad either. I mean, 25 for 43, 264 yards and a touchdown, but yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson was just doing everything, though. 14 for 24, 171 yards and a touchdown. He threw a pick, but, I mean, he had 12 carries for 97 yards. And I mean, Trevor Lawrence played good on the run, too. 4 carries for 41 yards. So it's like both quarterbacks led their team in passing and running in this game. Really interesting stuff. Isaiah Likely had 5 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown, while Jamal Agnew had 2 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. So it's really crazy how similar some of the stats were for this game. But I just got to hope tonight that, let's look at our lineup here. I'm probably going to lose. I mean, I'm supposed to lose right now, but I'll have to watch the game to see. I just got to hope that 17 points combined doesn't come out of freaking A.J. Brown and what's his name, DeAndre Swift. But it's probably going to happen. I'm going to lose. I'm out, guys. See you guys tonight. Yo, so we are here to close out Week 15 of the NFL. The Eagles and Seahawks game has just ended. Big time stuff, big time heroics from Mr. Drew Lock, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and once again the Eagles lose to a pretty iffy team. I mean, now the Seahawks are okay, but like going into this game, there was a lot of doubts. They definitely revamped some playoff hopes. Great catch for Smith-Njigba. Julian Love, huge game on the defensive side, 2 picks. Yeah, DK Metcalf had some crazy catches. But yeah, I mean, good defense tonight for the Seahawks, slowing down the Eagles. AJ Brown had that whole thing on the sideline. There's not really much to say about this game. It was pretty impactful. Obviously, the Seahawks kind of stay in the playoff race without Geno Smith, so I think that's like a big deal. But I mean, Jalen Hurts, 17 for 31, but he threw 2 damn interceptions. And I mean, he played a pretty good Drew Lock, who threw 22 for 33 and threw for a touchdown. I don't know. But I mean, Jalen Hurts, 13 carries, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He played really well on the ground. And Kenneth Walker had a rush touchdown. Man, A.J. Brown, they should have slowed A.J. Brown even more. Obviously, A.J. Brown is going to have his good games. 5 catches for 56 yards. He didn't play as good as he even was supposed to be, but if they would have held him to like 2 less catches than that, I probably would have won my fantasy matchup. But nothing's perfect. You know, DK Metcalf came out and had 5 catches for 78. You know, big catches down the stretch. Yeah, that's the game. I'm out. They won by a field goal by 3 points. Big game. They squeeze it out. Good for their playoff hopes. But I got to get going. I got to hit some cardio. I'm probably going to watch this Lakers-Knicks game while I'm doing that. And I'm probably going to get these clips together, get it ready, because before work tomorrow, you guys are getting an early video. Probably like 8:30 you're getting this video tomorrow before I go to work. So, yeah, I'm out, guys.